This morning, following weeks of pressure, President Biden no longer seeking re-election, dropping out of the race yesterday. The news sending shockwaves across the nation. Democrats now rushing to find someone they believe can defeat Donald Trump in November.
I still support my president.
It's about time. He should have dropped out a long time ago.
Reaction to this historic moment pouring in as the spotlight now shifts to Vice President Kamala Harris, who says she intends to win her party's nomination.
And this now sets the stage for next month's Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Will Democratic delegates listen to President Biden and nominate Harris, or will Democrats elect someone we don't know about? Good morning. Welcome to ABC 10 Morning News. Glad you're with us. I'm Walt Gray. President Biden's decision to end his presidential run has destroyed whatever prediction either party had for how this election might be playing out.
And I'm Monica Coleman. We want to remind you this decision comes after President Biden faced a growing number of calls from his own party to step down following his disastrous debate against former President Donald Trump weeks ago. Take a look. The president released this letter on social media yesterday saying he's dropping out of the race and will more likely than not announce this week what he's going to do next. The letter in part saying it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. The president had insisted for weeks he would stay in the race despite ongoing calls from his party that he needed to step down.
Okay, but right now Democrats are taking a different tone and thanking Biden for his decades of service to his country.
This was a very difficult decision, and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is.
The president's currently isolated at his home in Delaware, recovering from COVID. Now Biden's plan to drop out of the race was reportedly only announced to his campaign and White House staff minutes before his letter was made public. In the meantime, former President Trump made a statement via his Truth Social app, calling Biden the worst president and saying in part, quote, "We will suffer greatly because of Biden's presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly, make America great again," end of quote. And soon after announcing his decision, Biden threw his support behind Kamala Harris.
And we are expecting to hear from her today at a previously scheduled White House event. The vice president in a statement saying, quote, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." We're told she spent much of Sunday calling party leaders and shoring up support. The list of endorsements for Vice President Kamala Harris continues to grow.
Bill and Hillary Clinton put their support behind Harris right after Biden's endorsement as well. Governor Newsom endorsing Harris, saying in part, quote, "With our democracy at stake and our future on the line, no one is better to prosecute the case against Donald Trump's dark vision and guide our country in a healthier direction than America's vice president," end of quote. Other notable leading Democrats, including red state moderates like Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and some prominent progressives in Congress like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all announcing they are backing Harris.
Meanwhile, tens of thousands of African-American women from business, politics, and Hollywood joined a Zoom call raising over $1 million in just 3 hours in support of the first Black and Indian American woman sitting vice president, who is now running to succeed President Biden. Overnight, Democrats reporting a record amount of online donations in the hours after Biden's announcement yesterday, more than $50 million and counting.
Sources say the DNC Rules Committee is meeting Wednesday to quickly implement a framework to select a new nominee. President Biden says he'll address the nation this week to further explain his decision.
I was definitely a little bit upset to hear that he's, dropped out of the race at this point in time.
I'm shocked, but I'm also very concerned about his health and well-being.
You'll have to wait and see what unfolds in the next 2 weeks leading up to the convention.
I think it's a great opportunity for Harris and the Democrats to change policy now.
So as you heard, many voters and politicians across the nation and in California weighing in on Biden's decision to not seek re-election.
Meanwhile, many local lawmakers are reacting to Kamala Harris potentially becoming the possible nominee, a role she is gaining support in. ABC 10's Candace Red joins us now with more on this story. Hey, Candace.
Hey, Monica. Hey, Walt. Well, as you know, many Democrats are already showing their support for Vice President Kamala Harris. They want her to be the presidential nominee. Well, we know that the biggest endorsement, of course, comes from President Joe Biden himself. Now, for the Democratic Party, the goal is to defeat former President Donald Trump in the November election. We already shared that Governor Gavin Newsom is endorsing Kamala Harris. Now, other heavyweight endorsements include former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Now, several U.S. senators, House of Representatives, key donors, and members of the Congressional Black Caucus are rallying around Kamala Harris, too. By the way, we spoke with both Democrats and Republicans from California about Harris and her presidential bid.
It puts the Republicans in a bit of a dilemma, too, because their campaign strategy is going to be different depending upon who the candidate is.
I think we're going to find people rallying quickly behind her. I know the California Democratic delegation is in the process of doing that.
All right, well, keep in mind, while many Democrats quickly endorsed Harris, others remained silent on the topic, like former President Barack Obama. He released a statement on Biden dropping out of the race, but he did not name or endorse Harris to be the nominee. Also, former House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi stayed quiet, too, not backing Harris or any other candidate. But get this, you know what? Support or not, Vice President Kamala Harris plans to seek the Democratic nomination, and it could make her the first Black woman and first Asian American to lead the ticket of a major political party, not to mention the first graduate from Howard University and HBCU to possibly be in the Oval Office.
All right, Candace Red with the very latest. Candace, thank you.